Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let's talk about something that's been making waves around the NFL and more specifically among Browns fans. You've probably seen the clip circulating on social media, right? The one that involves SHEDEUR Sanders, the rookie quarterback drafted by Cleveland in this recent class, stepping into the spotlight in a way that's raising eyebrows, and not in the way he probably hoped. It's a reaction test, a simple but revealing drill that NFL teams often use to gauge players' mental sharpness, agility, and their ability to process information quickly. And honestly, it's become a bit of a viral sensation, but not for the reasons Sanders would have wanted. So what exactly happened? Well, the Cleveland Browns posted a video from the NFL's annual Rookie Symposium, a sort of initiation, a way to test these young players' mental and physical readiness for the brutal NFL season ahead. In the clip, Sanders is faced with a seemingly straightforward challenge. Plastic tubes are dropped from a structure just above his head, and his task is to catch as many as possible. Simple, right? At least it sounds simple. But as many Browns fans have noted, the results have been less than impressive. In the first round of the test, Sanders is joking around, barely catching any of the tubes that are falling. It looks like he's just having fun, maybe not taking it too seriously, which given the circumstances might be understandable. It's a rookie test, after all, and sometimes players just want to loosen up during these drills. But then, things get a little more serious. He refocuses, tightens up, and tries again. And here's where the alarm bells start ringing a little bit. Unfortunately for Browns fans, the second attempt isn't any better. Sanders manages to catch just 5 of the 9 tubes that fall from the structure. That's not exactly a glowing endorsement of his reaction time, especially when you consider the leaderboard behind him, where Denver Broncos wide receiver Pat Bryant flawlessly catches all 9 tubes, setting a high standard. And naturally, in the comments section and across social media, fans are already voicing their opinions. Some are joking, saying, "That's my QB1," with a bit of sarcasm, while others are more blunt, questioning whether Sanders is taking the right approach. Comments like, "Why did we draft this guy?" or "We're so done," are not uncommon. But beyond the humor and the jokes, there's a serious conversation happening about what this means for Sanders as a quarterback, especially coming into a team that's been searching for stability at that position for years. Now, let's pause for a moment. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Because honestly, this reaction test might seem like just a silly drill, but it actually taps into a much bigger issue: the perception of Sanders' readiness, his mental acuity, and his ability to perform under pressure. The NFL is a league that demands quick thinking, split-second reactions, and a killer instinct. If you can't demonstrate that in a simple reaction test, what does it say about your potential to read defenses, make quick decisions, and execute under the immense pressure of a game? Now, let's talk a little about SHEDEUR Sanders himself. For those who might not be as familiar, he's coming into the league with quite a story. Son of DEION Sanders, one of the greatest cornerbacks and a legendary NFL figure, SHEDEUR has a lot to live up to. He played college football at Colorado, where he showcased impressive arm talent and leadership qualities, but also faced questions about his athleticism and mental toughness, things that NFL scouts and teams pay close attention to. Drafted in the 5th round, which is often seen as a bit of a gamble, Sanders was considered a project. The Browns, in particular, took a chance on his potential, hoping that his mental acuity and competitive fire would match his physical skills. And folks, that's where things get intriguing. Because if you look at his college tape, Sanders was often praised for his poise, decision-making, and leadership. But the NFL is a different beast. The reaction test, while just a small sample, has brought some of those concerns back to the forefront. Browns fans are naturally cautious. They've seen quarterbacks with big arms and flashy college highlights crash and burn when the mental side of the game wasn't up to par. That's why this reaction time test has become so political in a way. It's not just about catching tubes, it's about reading defenses, recognizing blitzes, and making split-second decisions that can change the course of a game. But let's be fair. It's important to remember that this is just one drill, one snapshot of Sanders' overall ability. Sometimes players don't always shine in these tests, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're doomed to fail in the NFL. Still, for Browns fans, it's a reminder that expectations are high, and every little detail is scrutinized when it comes to their team's future quarterback. They're looking for someone who can lead them deep into the playoffs, maybe even bring a Super Bowl to Cleveland for the first time in decades. And every step, every test, every highlight reel matters. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the bigger picture for the Browns this season. The team, under head coach Kevin Stefanski, has been on an upward trajectory. They've built a solid defense, especially with players like Myles Garrett leading the charge, and their offense has some promising pieces. Deshaun Watson, their veteran quarterback, is returning after a somewhat turbulent first year with the team. Expectations are high and the roster is loaded with talent. But the question remains, can Sanders develop into a reliable backup or even push for the starting role? That's what Browns fans are eager to see. In the broader context of the AFC North, this division is arguably one of the most competitive and unpredictable in the league. The Cincinnati Bengals, with Joe Burrow leading an explosive offense, are always a threat. The Baltimore Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, are a dynamic team that can beat anyone on a given day. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, under Mike Tomlin, have a strong defense and a resilient attitude. So for Cleveland, it's not just about developing Sanders, it's about building a team that can contend with these powerhouse rivals. The AFC North has historically been a tough division, but lately it's been even more intense, with each team investing heavily in talent and strategy. Back to Sanders, though, what does this reaction test really tell us about his future? Well, it's a piece of the puzzle. It's a reminder that the mental game is just as important as the physical tools. If he can improve his reaction time, his ability to process information quickly, and his overall mental toughness, he could become a valuable asset for the Browns. But if these concerns persist, it might limit his ceiling. Browns fans are hoping that this is just a minor hiccup, a momentary lapse, and that Sanders will show more of that competitive fire and mental sharpness when the real games start. As we look ahead to training camp and the preseason, all eyes will be on Sanders. Will he rise to the challenge? Will he show that he's more than just a guy with a strong arm? The Browns are betting on his potential, but they also need him to demonstrate that he has the mindset and reaction skills necessary for the NFL. Because, at the end of the day, the difference between a good quarterback and a great one often comes down to those split-second decisions, those reactions that happen in the blink of an eye. And let's not forget about the coaching staff. Kevin Stefanski, known for his offensive ingenuity and quarterback development, will surely be working closely with Sanders to sharpen his instincts and decision-making. The Browns have a solid support system, analysts, trainers, and veteran players, all working to mold Sanders into the franchise quarterback they believe he can be. But patience is key. It's a long journey from rookie reaction tests to leading the Browns deep into the postseason. Now, for Browns fans, it's natural to feel a mix of excitement and cautious optimism. The team has made significant moves this offseason, adding key players and bolstering their roster. The defense remains a strong point, and the offense, with Watson at the helm, has the potential to be explosive. But every new season brings new challenges, and the quarterback position remains the most scrutinized. If Sanders can develop that quick, instinctive reaction ability, he might just surprise everyone. If not, the Browns will have to continue their search for that elusive franchise signal caller. In conclusion, while the reaction test might seem trivial at first glance, it's actually a window into the mental makeup of this young quarterback. Browns fans, it's a moment to watch closely to see if Sanders can turn these early concerns into motivation. Because let's face it, the NFL is a game of inches and milliseconds, and success often hinges on who reacts faster and makes smarter decisions. So, as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season, keep an eye on Sanders and this Browns team. They're hungry, they're talented, and they're eager to prove they belong among the NFL's elite. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this reaction test? Do you think it's just a silly drill, or is it a sign of something deeper about Sanders' readiness? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come.